Hey guys, update 1.11 is live on test servers, and before you freak out about the size of the patch notes, let me just tell you, we've seen this before with Trader's Moon and Serpent Moon. The real content comes with the scheduled event following the patch, so don't worry, we can assume more content will come with Devil's Moon once that drops. Update 111 is a big number patch, meaning it's not like a 1.9.2, so there will be new stuff, we just have to wait a little longer. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the highlights that I have noticed, and then we can go through this section by section. The first one I would like to point out, you can now jump over sticks without breaking them, so if you time this right, you can now approach quietly, especially with Lightfoot. Another quick audio change is they have changed the sound of doors, so now they sound very crispy and dry. This doesn't apply to windows, however, but it does apply to these short doors and gates. More audio changes, they have made a subtle tweak, so now enemies on wooden floors above you are more readable. I tested this out with some people on the test server, and I would say there is a much higher chance you would understand that the enemy is above you now. It is subtle, but I feel like you can hear it. Of course, this will need some further testing in a building with more wood than Fort. Another audio change, they tweaked the Sparks pistol to sound more powerful in first-person view. This is listed under bug fixes, so I guess it wasn't sounding right originally. Another interesting change, there is now a chimney entry at Ironworks on Lost in Delta, so just in time for Christmas, you can now drop in like Santa. Last thing, before we go through these section by section, they have fixed several precision issues with the rate of fire statistics on single shot weapons. This is the first step toward more accurate weapon statistics. So for example, the Sparks used to say 38 rounds per minute, and now it says 12, which much more closely aligns with the reload speed and prep time for that weapon. And personally, I'm really glad they are fixing this. Now let's go through this section by section. In the intro, the devs addressed that they are working on the various reload bugs, but they didn't quite make it for this patch, so we will have to wait a little longer. On to gunplay changes. The devs have optimized flashbangs to prevent rare situations where a player might receive a hit marker for a successful full flash, but the enemy would not receive a full flash. That is something people mentioned in the comments of the flashbang video I did. Also, why are we calling it flashbangs? It's flash bombs, but okay. The Spark Silencer and the Vetterli Silencer had their effective headshot range increased to match the new headshot range for the tweaked Winfield Silencer. So the Vetterli Silencer now has an effective headshot range of 150 meters or 176 meters with FMJ, and the Spark Silencer has 169 or 184 with FMJ. And the PAX is finally seeing some love. The PAX and the PAX Claw have an increased fire rate and decreased upwards recoil while using the fanning trait, so they are a little more usable, especially if you have fanning. Shotguns also got adjusted to where base ammo and penny shot now have a further one-hit kill range on grunts and hellhounds. And then on to global changes, they made it easier to pick up desired weapons in cases where multiple weapons were close together on the ground. They created new holes for the stalker beetles to enter and maneuver in all maps, and as we mentioned, it is possible to jump over dry branches. For Stillwire Bayou, they made some changes. I'll let you go investigate those if you want to, but I did notice that the windows were a little bit different at Devant Ranch. In Lost in Delta, we've talked about the chimney change at Ironworks. It is also easier to get up there, and again they tweaked some stalker beetle positions, but nothing too crazy there. And then in DeSalle, I kept trying to queue into this, but I just could not get a DeSalle map on test server. So they improved the options of getting into the boss lair and the compound for Stanley Coal Company. DeSalle also saw a slight audio change. There is now decreased volume at the bonfire in Fort Bolden. Personally, I always kind of liked fighting around there because it felt like stealth, but yeah, now that is a little bit lower. And we already talked about the Sparks pistol gunshot in first person. On to gunplay bug fixes. They fixed a bug that caused players to stay too long in the hip fire animation of the bomb lance. I have felt that. Glad that's gone. They also made some smaller changes to Concertina, and now it shouldn't hit you through walls as much, but we'll see how that works out. Stillwater got some world bug fixes, nothing too crazy. Same thing for Lost and Delta, some small quality of life things, but nothing too crazy there. And again, for DeSalle, like maybe if you've hit these bugs, you would notice them, but again, nothing crazy. Okay, on to some UI fixes, and two of these I actually really notice all the time on live servers, so I'll just start with those. Fixed a bug that caused players to be sent back to the roster overview screen when equipping a second custom ammo type on weapons in the roster equipment screen. So basically on live right now, if you try to put on a second ammo type, it'll send you back. It is very annoying, and I'm glad they fixed it. And then we also talked about the statistics, which they are now tweaking to be more accurate to the weapons. So I think new players will be able to understand what's really going on with these statistics. Okay, the rest are small UI fixes. You can read through those if you would like to, but again, it's not anything too crazy. And just as a reminder, the major content for this, I assume, will be coming with that Devil's Moon event. So don't worry too much if these patch notes aren't too pleasing for all you people hungry for more content. There is stuff on the way, we assume. Okay, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and until the next one, goodbye.